look, I didn't really think about it in this context until I read Michael Holley today at NBC Sports Boston. It's a good point. The Celtics have not won a back-to-back title since the 60s. Like, for all the winning they did, Bird never won back-to-back. He got to – did they go to 4 straight? 3 straight? What did they go to in the 80s?
3 straight.
He won 3 straight MVPs. They went to at least 3 straight NBA Finals. Was it 4 straight?
It was 4. It was 84, 85, 86 because they lost. 83 was the Sixers
They didn't get back in 87?
87 was the Pistons. Or no, did they beat the Pistons and lose to the Lakers?
Oh, maybe they did go 4 years in a row.
Yeah, so regardless, the point is, I mean, Bird was real close. He won 2 out of 3. He was there at least 3 years in a row.
4 years in a row, yep.
So they were there 4 years in a row. So they were very, very close. Mm-hmm. Garnett couldn't do it. You know, Havlicek and Cowens, I mean, they won multiple titles. They didn't win back-to-back. And so, you know, it hasn't happened since the 60s. What's the likelihood this team can repeat?
I think pretty good. Like, I think strong to quite strong. I would take them over the field right now. And obviously there's a lot to be determined with the field and, like, what guy demands a trade and what all happens with free agency and trades. But I love the team, and the whole team's coming back. Like, how many times in the course of those back-to-back title teams or the teams that won a title and then failed to win it the next year did their 7 or 8 most important players and coach all return? And that's what they're doing. And everybody, with the exception of probably Al Horford, is in their prime. Like Drew Holiday maybe on the back part of it, his prime. But everybody else is kind of locked into their prime. So I definitely think the Celtics have a great, great chance. I mean, you look at the road that was in front of them, and everybody was like, it was too easy, it was too easy. All right, well, what team are you for sure is going to be standing in their way next year? Like, all those other teams are very flawed, and that's why they lost 3 playoff games on their way to a title.
Yeah, the one team that, and again, I used the word scared earlier. Like, I agree, scared's probably not the right word, but the team that, to me, I even look at and say they're on the Celtics level potentially is Denver. Yes, that's the only team. I don't look at any other team. I don't think Minnesota's on their level. Dallas definitely isn't on their level. I don't look at OKC yet. I mean, go make a big trade, not just getting Caruso, which I think was a nice little move. Go make a big trade and get an all-star caliber player and then come talk to me. But, like, Miami or the Knicks, like, none of those. Like, it's really just Denver. And so, you know, I think it's pretty realistic they repeat too. But, Arcand, I know you're a believer in, well, it's been 6 champions in 6 years. It's harder to repeat in the NBA. The Celtics haven't done it, in fairness, in forever. In fact, for all the titles we've celebrated in this town, the 13 since 2000, there's only been 1 repeat champion. And it was the Pats in 03-04. No one else has been able to do it. There's been plenty. I'm sure I said this about other teams. I'm like, they'll win again. Of course they'll win again. Everybody's back. I probably said that about a bunch of teams, and none of them have done it.
Yeah, the Patriots almost three-peated, but didn't repeat. So, you know, like, that's the way it works. And I think when you go back and look at the champions of the past 5 years, after the Raptors won with Kawhi and he left, no one thought they'd be back. No one expected them to repeat. I don't think a lot of people expected the Lakers or the Bucks or even the Warriors or the Nuggets last year to repeat. I don't think that was a lot of times. It seemed like the Celtics. The Celtics were the favorites though this year.
Yeah, but I thought the Nuggets had a real chance.
I think the Nuggets had the best chance. Like, to Arcand's point, I mean, one of them is like the bubble Lakers. They didn't even win a real title, let alone they were going to win 2 in a row. The Kawhi Leonard left, so that team, you blew that team up.
Yep.
Going all the way back to the Warriors the one with Durant, they blew that up.
Yep.
Then the Curry one, they kind of won it, but everybody's like, that's kind of last legs, right? Like, that kind of felt like Klay Thompson.
I didn't think they would win.
Klay Thompson,
and now they're like a 10 seed.
No, and then I thought maybe Milwaukee.
Bucks,
But now I think there's been enough evidence to prove that their title is more of a one-off. They're much more choking dogs than they are contender.
No, and I guess now
so Nuggets were the best. Nuggets were the most likely repeat champion
until the Celtics. I mean, I think that's
now
the case.
It's the Celtics.
Now the Celtics have won, and they more so than any other team, I think, are expected to repeat than any other team was.
Well, and to your point, now that we're talking it out, when I say I thought Denver could repeat, I'm talking about like probably now, like on parade day.
Yeah.
But then the Celtics went out and got Porzingis.
Oh yeah,
and
right.
The Celtics got Holiday, and then
right.
by the time the Celtics made their moves, you're right. I didn't think Denver would repeat again. So yeah, maybe it was the Bucks. I think the Celtics are in the best shape to do it. Doug just mentioned health for the Celtics. You know, Porzingis is very concerned.
Doug who?
Well, that's with everybody.
Doug Lane right here.
Oh, Doug Lane. Hey,
Doug mentioned the health of the Celtics. Like, Porzingis I'm nervous about, but
they won without him.
I don't think they need him to win.
Right.
Drew Holiday concerns me minorly. The one thing I'll say, and obviously this can turn on a dime for any of these guys, but Tatum and Brown mostly post.
They play.
I mean, Brown has sneaky missed some games over his career, but he was very healthy this year. He was very healthy 2 years
But
ago.
if you give me,
and Tatum always plays.
If you give me like your 3 or 4 contenders right now, I'd be like, they all have more injury concern. Maybe not than Porzingis, but like certainly more than Tatum and Brown.
Definitely.
So I think that kind of goes without saying.
fair.
Like every team, like in the NFL, when we have this conversation, like is their starting quarterback playing every game, or is he down? If he's down, then like all right, cross him off the list and go to the next one. But like Joel Embiid and Julius Randle, and I brought this up earlier when the pregame show for ABC was like talking about, can this team repeat and is this the start of a dynasty? And a couple of the players on set were like pushing back on it. Joel Embiid's like, no way, like the league's too talented. We got the Sixers. Like, dude, you're done. You've had your chance. It's not happening. Nobody fears the Sixers. And then Michael Wilbon's like, well, I mean, I can't leave out the Knicks and Randall. I'm like, well, why not? Randall gets hurt all the time too. Coming out of college, he had like a million injuries. So
and look at him this year. By the end of that series, they were completely decimated.
The Knicks had no players left standing. The Jimmy Butler was hurt. Halliburton got hurt. Donovan Mitchell got hurt. Everybody got hurt. So I think you could say the same thing with everybody. But the reason why even then the Celtics have a leg up on everybody, if they lose any one, maybe even 2 guys, they're still in it.
No, it's true.
And then if another team loses their guy, then it's big advantage Celtics again.
Like if they lost Porzingis and Horford, that would scare me.
That would be tough.
But if they lost Porzingis and Holiday,
it would suck. But I think they would be able to
still win.
I think they would win a lot still.
Right. They might be able to win a title.
Yeah.
I'm happy I didn't bet Netherlands. I've been watching this game like I bet it. I didn't actually bet. They just took a goal off the board. Is he offside? So they took that off the board.
Yeah, he's upset about it. You can tell.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the people are watching the soccer here at Dillon's a little closer than I expected. When who scored earlier?
It was Austria-Poland.
Yeah, a lot of Austrian fans.
I thought Jason Tatum walked in. It was so loud. People went nuts.
Legitimately, I'm like, did Missoula walk in with the title again? I'm like, what is this?
You're like, no, it's 2-1 Austria.
No, it's true.
People are going crazy for the Euro Cup.
So on the topic of health, when we're talking, do you want to see these guys playing in the Olympics? Like, it's another point Doug just slid across. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want Tatum in the Olympics. I don't want Drew Holiday in the Olympics. I don't want Porzingis in the. I don't want any of those guys.
You are
in
a Debbie Downer, sir.
You want them out
You're
there?
A negative Nelson. Yeah, I love the Olympics. I am that guy.
But
I love it. Basketball too. Throw it out there. There's a lot of good talent out there.
Okay, but the U.S. like I get Latvia needs Porzingis.
Yeah.
The U.S. doesn't need Tatum.
Tatum's not going to play 40 minutes. None of these guys are going to play a ton of minutes.
The U.S. doesn't need Holiday.
Yeah, but I'm a sucker for Dream Team 1, Dream Team 2, Dream Team 3, the Redeem Team. Like I like.
I like
all this crap. And like, guess what? Like LeBron and Curry and Durant and on down the line, they're all playing in this thing too. So I think it's kind of an equal. I mean, I guess you could say these guys played a longer playoff run. That's fair. But I don't think they're going to gas them out.
give their spot to Caitlin Clark. That's what I think.
The ratings will go up.
What has Tatum won? Tatum's won gold already, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to win 2. 2 golds, they say, is tough.
I don't think
hard to win 2 goals.
Like if you hadn't gotten it yet, I'd say take a break. But like
Drew Holiday also
I'm sorry, I'd say go for it rather.
Yeah,
so like I don't even more so.
They're chasing Carmelo Anthony's 9 gold
medal
record.
You want Porzingis playing?
Not Porzingis.
Okay.
Well, he's hurt right now.
Thank you.
But Tatum and Holiday aren't hurt right now. If they were hurt right now, I'd be like, all right, maybe ease up on it. Like, you know, Kemba Walker playing in the All-Star game and he's limping around.
But I guess this is my point. Like, where are priorities at? Your priorities are at
Team USA, obviously.
Repeating, resting, or winning another gold that the U.S. is going to win whether they play or not.
Greatest country in the world, Jones. You don't want these guys out there with the red, white, and blue in their chest?
With the what's the river that runs right through Paris? It's all polluted. The Seine.
The Seine, yeah.
It's all polluted and gross. They're going to be doing like kayak.
If they were,
I don't need you there.
I would say no.
I don't need you there.
They should be safe. They should be safe inside the arenas.
I don't need it.
So would you say just no Celtics, or you want no NBA players?
No Celtics.
Okay.
Like to me, and like I don't know, pick your spot. Like if I was a Laker fan, I'd be like, hey LeBron, you need another one of these? Like I'd probably say that about any team I was pulling for or wanted to win a championship. I'd probably say, what are you doing? Why bother?
But once you get a taste of that gold medal, there is nothing that'll quench it.
So hockey, I agree with. Like hockey to me is like at least a balanced competition. It's a balanced tournament, and like I want the U.S. guys there. The U.S. is going to there. They're going to win.
That's un-American.
It might be. Somewhere along the line, it might be.
Communist Jones.
You know what?
Here comes Communist Jones.
You know what? Euro has infected me somehow. I've been watching too much. I've been watching too much soccer.
Are they definitely going to win too? By the way, like
who
is definitely going to win?
Yeah, who's your team?
Because Team USA doesn't always win.
In the Olympics?
China?
Big Canada guy. Big Canada guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Canada in a few years is going to be good. Canada and France in a few years are going to be
real good.
There's
a lot of international players. Yeah.
You think they're not going to win?
I don't know. I mean, they
course
don't
they're gonna
always win.
They
Joe.
mostly always win.
They
lost
don't always.
They lost once. I think.
Why do you
I think
think the
it's one
Redeem team even had to exist in the first place?
Because they
kept
lost
losing.
04.
Because they lost the one time.
Yeah.
They lost in 04.
They lost. They sure did.
They get pants
That
in
was
the World
Paul,
Championships,
the
though.
Paul Pierce year, I think.
No. The
No,
Paul Pierce
it was
year
like
was
Pan Am
World
Games.
Championship
Yeah.
in 2002, and it was hosted in like the United States. I think like Indiana had it.
Was it?
That team was a mess.
That
Yeah,
team
it was
sucked.
Look, and it was all my favorite players. It was like Sean Marion
Yeah.
and Paul Pierce,
Okay.
and they got
So,
They got
okay,
steamed.
fine. So if they lose in Paris in
Yeah.
4 years, I'll be like, you know what, Tatum?
You got to be out there. We
Redeem
need
Team
you.
2.0. We need you, Jason Tatum. You let down a country, Jason
That's right.
Tatum. Actually, that'll be my take. If they don't win gold and Jason Tatum doesn't go, you let down a whole country.
But think of the marketing.
If
Jones.
Tatum does
he
go
can have,
and they don't win gold.
he can have a championship ring and a gold medal.
Nah, you're right. The more we're talking about, I want him there.
You got to have him there.
I want him.
What if they get a scrappy Greece team in
Content.
pool play? That's the last thing you want.
Argentina all over again.
Argentina was good. Puerto Rico didn't Puerto Rico beat them?
Manu Ginobili 2.0. Ooh.
Yeah, like Carlos Arroyo
I remember that.
beat 'em.
I remember that.
I don't.
I think that was that same year.
That was 04, right?
I'm not sure. That's
maybe
how
it was
that went down.
04.
Because they lost a couple. They had to. They lost like 3 games that year.
I think we all agree, though, the obstacle for the Celtics is not the other teams, it's themselves. And so, Tatum toying around with the Olympics or Holiday getting hurt at the Olympics or something like that. Like that.
Well, Porzingis never recovering.
That's the kind of stuff that would be devastating.
Like, who knows what Porzingis' health status is going to be all year?
Fair. Like, all that to me is fair, but like it's about the Celtics. It's not about what we're talking about with these other teams, barring a massive trade. It's about them and staying motivated and doing all the right stuff. Like that to me is their issue to not repeat.
Do they need to add any fresh blood? Because there's been a history of teams that are good, and then when they get a guy in,
Like in the draft? Like at pick 30?
no. So my answer is no. I'm just saying, like, is there a way to manipulate something? I don't think it matters. Like, I think they're going to be motivated enough. I think the whole idea of like teams haven't won back-to-back in many years. There's still going to be enough doubters that
keeps
help.
them driven.
But they're usually like, there's been times where like one guy who hasn't won it helps a team. Kind of they rally around him. I personally don't think they need that, but some of these, back-to-back champions or 3 and 4 year type teams.
You know what?
Get
Those are all second apron things. You can't do that anymore.
That's true. They're
Like
kinda
now you
screwed.
can't get the mid-level exception anymore.
No.
You can't do these like stupid trades. It's all
That's
that
true.
stuff. That's the one thing.
They're kind of tied up.
And people talk about that like it's some big detriment for the Celtics.
No, they're
because now
fine.
they can't do those things. It doesn't matter. Like, so what? They can't get Andre Drummond on the team at the middle of the season to come on and chase a ring.
No,
or
they're
something.
fine. Their only issue would be like doomsday scenario where Horford and Porzingis are out for an extended period of time, and then you're like, all right, now you're going like super small ball. That'd be the only thing. But no, I don't know how you wouldn't want this roster to run it back exactly as is.
Yeah, and so I mean, look, I would like I would like them to actually draft somebody at 30, and so like that I would be on board with. Bring in a player, and I don't really care what you do. Bring
You
in
see
a
Bill Simmons' theory?
Yes, we actually talked about this briefly yesterday.
sorry, okay.
Bronny James.
Bronny Jr.
I like it more and more. The
Hold
more I
hostage.
think about it, the
Hold
more
you
I
like
like
it?
Oh yeah,
You like it?
I do.
No.
What's not to like?
I mean, you
Arcand,
would. Communist Jones would
no,
love
I-
a hostage situation.
No, Arcand is a fan of it. I said, why?
Yeah.
You're not. Great, you draft him, and the Lakers go, okay. Like, what are they going to give you?
Might leave anyway.
Yeah,
He's barely opting out of his deal.
That's
Like,
true.
What are they going to give you? I just don't know.
I
Like,
think JJ Redick took that news, by the way.
yeah.
I think-
Welcome
must have
aboard. I'm
known.
opting out.
That whole thing is weird to
maybe
me.
he'll re-sign on the podcast.
I think.
Oh wow.
Is he just waiting for them to draft? Is he like just holding that over their head? Like,
Probably.
you better draft Bronny.
Yeah.
Now I'll stay. Like, he's always cooking something up.
It'd be funny. Bronny James winning a ring with the Celtics would be funny. Like that would be a funny situation.
He
I don't know
wouldn't
why I don't
even
think so.
play for Southern Cal next year. Like,
Right.
he's not a first-round pick, obviously.
Yeah, so I'd rather they make the pick. But I did hear that theory.
It's kinda
Look,
funny.
I like a nice spike draft pick.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm not
Yeah.
anti that. You get
No.
me in a fantasy football draft, I'll spike draft players
Spike
all
pick.
day long.